D, wait for it, rightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the article that I read to bring you this video, and you can, read it for yourself or just watch this video where I'm going to read it to you, basically. But we're going to discuss some news. Now, before I get started, also, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing their algorithm. In fact, they just recently changed it to even, crazier standards or whatnot. And small channels like mine, we're just getting shoved way back to the end of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you in advance. Now that that's out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 stories? And so for my first story this week, Avengers Kang Dynasty has gotten a director, and it is Destin Daniel Cretin. Sorry. I don't like 3 named people, when they got 3 names in their title. It's like so crazy. But anyways, so he directed Shang-Chi and everything. We're going to go through this article. So he directed Shang-Chi, and this will be in phase 6, which phase 6 is going to be crazy because they have 2 Avengers movies like in the same year. And I think they're only a couple months apart, maybe a month. I can't remember what it is. I'm pretty sure this will tell us. So why don't we go ahead and read this? This comes from The Hollywood Reporter. The title is Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, to be directed by Shang-Chi filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton. All right, and said the 5th Avengers movie is one of 2 that will close out Marvel's Phase 6 set of movies, which is interesting. So it says, since the climactic wrap-up of 2019's Avengers, man, I'm having some problems reading today. 19's Avengers Endgame, which closed a chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe known as the Infinity Saga and grossed almost $2.8 billion worldwide. Marvel Studios has focused on introducing new heroes and pushing ahead with sequels starring some of its top characters. But as revealed by Kevin Feige at Marvel's Saturday presentation at San Diego Comic-Con, the Avengers was assembling once again with back-to-back movies set for 2025, which is, I think is crazy. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so it says, and while there are many other movies that will hit before that, the studio is already moving ahead creatively with at least one of the super team tentpoles. Destin Daniel Cretton, who helmed last year's Marvel hit Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, I didn't really think it was a hit, in my personal opinion. It was, I don't know, you could argue it was the best thing of Phase 4, which they just ended briefly, I'll tell you that. But it was okay. It was weird. Like, it was very cool, like kung fu fighting and everything, and then all of a sudden it was like demons, and you're like, what? And so has come aboard to direct Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, The Hollywood Reporter Kang exclusively revealed. Cretin is already well ensconced in the Marvel family, in addition to directing Shang-Chi, which grossed $432 million worldwide. Not that great. He has an overall, which a lot of people are saying that's a hit, and I'm sorry. 432 million worldwide, that's not a hit. And you can blame the pandemic all you want, but it's still not a hit. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the most grossing movie of Phase 4. So we just have to be honest about stuff. Anyways, he has an overall deal with Marvel that he signed in the wake of Shang-Chi's success. 432 million worldwide is a success? I don't think so. Anyways, as part of that, he is developing with Andrew Guest, a writer-producer on comedies such as Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community, a live-action series featuring Wonder Man that he will executive produce and possibly direct an episode or more of. He also has a Shang-Chi sequel in the works. Which, I mean, I have nothing against Destin Daniel Cretton. I have nothing against him. I wish him nothing but the best. I know I'm kind of crapping on him just a tiny bit, but I have nothing against him. It is unclear who is writing the Kang Dynasty Avengers movie or what heroes would even make up the team's roster for a story that helps close out Phase 6. Feige laid out a timeline that sees the Kang Dynasty arrive May 2nd, 2025, with another Avengers movie, Avengers Secret Wars, hitting November 7th, 2025. I don't know if either one of, like, if there's a Kang Dynasty comic, I've never read that before, so I'm not quite sure. Kang was never one of my favorite baddies in the comic books. I mean, he was fine whenever I read him, but for the most part, I was just like, he's not my cup of tea, but we'll see how they do it. Secret Wars, however, I have not read. There's two Secret Wars. There's the older one, which I read way back in the day. My brother owned it when I was younger. I read it even as a kid. I thought it was great. It was so good. That's where they introduced, you had the Beyonder. I don't think they're going to do the Beyonder. I don't even know how, anyways. And then they introduced the symbiote. It was so good. It was so good. But in this new one, I think that's dealing with the multiverse. You don't just get sent to one planet. I believe, don't quote me on this, because like I said, I haven't read it. So I'm just going off of what I read like a million years ago, like a synopsis or whatever. But I think it's like they go from multiverse to multiverse, and they have to deal with those incursions, like in the Doctor Strange movies. Anyways, okay. Sorry, went on a small tangent there. Kang is being played by Jonathan Majors. I like Jonathan Majors. I think he's a good actor. I do not like the portrayal of Kang that he did in Loki. I didn't like it. It was too silly. But that is a word that I have wrapped up into all of Phase 4, just plain old silly. Yeah. So was introduced in Disney Plus series Loki. Kang, or a version of him, will be reintroduced in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is due out February 17th, 2023, which it'll be interesting to see that. You can find out the plot and everything for that. It leaked online. Quantumania is the movie that will launch Phase 5. In Loki, Majors played Kang with the moniker He Who Remains. But the actor said at Comic-Con that there are multiple Kangs, and the one from Ant-Man is different from the one in Loki. Good, because the one in Loki sucked. Marvel, which I'm not trying to diss on Jonathan Majors. I'm not quite sure if he decided to play him like that. I'm just saying I didn't like it. Marvel, which will wrap up Phase 4 with this November's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, has been slowly hiring directors for its next batch of movies that will comprise Phase 5 and Phase 6. Marvel has confirmed to Hollywood Reporter that Bassam Tariq will direct Blade, scheduled for November 3rd, 2023 release. Julius Anna is directing Captain America: New World Order, which will star Anthony Mackie as Captain America and open May 25th. Jake Schreier is directing Thunderbolts. I'm excited for that. We'll see who they pick to be in the Thunderbolts. I think we pretty much kind of have a clue of it, which will close out Phase 5 with the release date of July 26, 2024. Directing an Avengers movie is one of the most high-profile jobs in Hollywood. Joss Whedon helmed the first two Avengers movies, which I really like that first one, even still today. The second one, I've come to appreciate it, but it's still not on like my top 10. Anyways, 2012's The Avengers, and 2015's Avengers: Age of Ultron. And Joe and Anthony Russo filmed the epic two-parter Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame. Which I liked both of those. The Russos have long stated that they would like to helm a Secret Wars film, with presuming they meant adapting the key comic miniseries that ran from the mid-1980s. Marvel rarely outright adapts its stories usually weaving several influences into a movie, even sometimes breaking from the literal sources entirely to complicate matters. There is also a second Secret Wars, a 2015 storyline with writer Jonathan Hickman, which Jonathan Hickman, he's hit or miss for me. I did like his take on the X-Men. I thought it was very heady and everything, but it kind of veered off a little too heady, in my opinion. Anyways, involved the multiverse, which I think they're going to go with the 2015 one and not the original 1980s one, because they've already introduced this whole multiverse thing. So, and this is called the Multiverse Saga. So, yeah. In any case, after the panel, Feige noted to Deadline that the Russos were not involved in Secret Wars, which I was like, ooh, look at that. Cretin, who rose through the dramatic ranks with movies such as Short Term 12 and Just Mercy, is repped. Oh, who cares who he's repped by? Okay, that's it on that. So good for him. I wish him nothing but the best, and we'll see how it turns out. We'll see how he does. All right, so that's my first story of the week. So for my second story of the week, Pedro Pascal and David Harbour have been picked to star in HBO limited series called My Dentist's Murder Trial. Now, before I get started on this article, and they do mention it in here, this was an actual article in the New York Times, which it's very good. I will leave a link to that also in the description down below. So let's get through this article and let's see what happens. Okay, so Pedro Pascal and David Harbour are set to star together in a limited series, My Dentist's Murder Trial, currently developed at HBO. Variety has learned the series is inspired by the James Lasden New Yorker. Sorry, it was the New Yorker, not New York Times. Sorry, I apologize. Don't get mad at me. Anyways, the New Yorker article, My Dentist's Murder Trial, Adultery, False Identities, and a Lethal Sedition. The article told the true story of how Dr. Gilberto Nunez was indicted for the death of his friend Thomas Coleman. Both Pascal and Harbour will exclusive produce, in addition to starring. Steve Conrad will write and executive produce. In addition, sorry, I'm being distracted by this this video right here. In addition to directing the pilot. Todd Black, Jason Blumthal, Stephen Dada, escape artist, will also executive produce. All right. Let me get past that video. I was getting so distracted by the cosplay. Anyways, Pascal is set to star in the HBO series adaptation of the video game The Last of Us in the lead role of Joel. He is also known for his starring role in the title role and for his starring role in the title role in the hit Disney Plus. That man, say that 5 times fast. In the hit Disney Plus Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, which will return for its 3rd season in early 2023. I heard he's not like starring, like he's just going to do voiceover work from now on. Like they're just going to keep his helmet on and then he's just going to go into the studio and voice over. So he's not going to be like, he's not going to take his helmet off anymore, which is, I find very, I don't want to get into too much of that because that's just going to take too much time. Anyways, he also played the role of fellow Star Wars series, The Book of Boba Fett. Pascal's other TV credits include Narcos and The Game of Thrones, as well as features like Wonder Woman 1984, awful, Triple Frontier, and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. He was good in that second Kingsman movie. He is repped by Who Cares? Harbour currently stars in the blockbuster Netflix series Stranger Things, which recently released its 4th season. Harbour has received 2 Emmy nominations for his work on the show. He has also starred in shows such as Q-Force, Hellboy. Okay, he is repped by Who Cares? Conrad is known for creating shows like Ultra City Smiths and Patriot, as well as co-creating the Perpetual Grace. Oh gosh, there's so many, like all they're doing is giving. Okay, and then they tell where he is repped by. So Yeah, it's a long story short, it's just a story about a dentist. He happens to be a dentist and he was blamed for his friend's murder. I don't want to tell you if he was found guilty or innocent or anything like that, just because I don't want to give it away. Yeah, and don't read the article if you don't want to know how this limited series is going to end, because yeah, just don't read it. But if you're interested in it, it'll be in the section down below. And good for them. Again, I wish everybody nothing but the best. So yeah, good for them. So that is my second story this week. So for my third and final story this week, Warner Brothers has gotten Alan Horn to join them as a senior advisor. Now, he's just advising, so he has no authority, respect my authority. He has no authority, so he would just give his opinion on something, and they would listen. So let's just read this. As a CEO, David Zaslav brought him on as we transition our film business and hone our motion picture strategy. All right, let's go. That's Alan Horn, by the way. He used to work at Disney, but he left. Okay, so it says it says right here, former Disney CCO and veteran entertainment industry exclusive executive. Man, I've got like dry mouth. I should have brought in a glass of water. Anyways, Alan Horn is joining Warner Brothers Discovery as a senior advisor. The Wrap has learned exclusively. I just want to say real quick before we get started on this article, I really like Alan Horn. I think he's smart. I think he knows what he's doing. But before he left Disney or whatnot, I think that I just really like him. I think he's smart. I think he knows the business portion of the program, and I just really like him. Okay, so calling him one of the most respected studio executives in the industry, CEO David Zaslav announced the news in a memo on Thursday, which can be read in full below, which we will read right now. I am thrilled to share with you that Alan Horn, one of the most respected studio executives in the industry, has agreed to assist me in a consultant role during this transition period starting August 1st, which is Monday, tomorrow, as of filming this. Sorry, you guys. No one knows this business better than Alan does. He has had an extraordinary career spanning nearly half a century. Most recently, he served as chairman and later co-chairman of the chief creative officer of Walt Disney Studios, where for a period of nearly 10 years, he oversaw the production of all motion pictures and the integration of Lucasfilm and the Fox Film Studios, as well as the expansion into producing content for Disney's streaming services. This is we'll read this because it's only 2 more paragraphs. Okay. Over the past 6 months, I've been fortunate to spend time with Alan. He has been generous and hugely helpful to me. And I've learned a ton about the business from our conversations. I could not be more excited. Sorry, you guys. I could not be more excited to be able to continue to tap into his thinking, expertise, and stellar instincts, as well as transition our film business and hone our motion picture strategy for the future. And I know Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi are equally excited to have Alan's ear to be able to benefit from his wealth of experience. All right, we're not going to read the rest of this because it's just boring. Okay. He talks about IPs and stuff like that. Anyways, the news comes less than a year after Horn's retirement at the age of 78 as chief creative officer of Disney Studios content, and amidst a series of Zaslav-led hires and departures as Warner Brothers Discovery settles into its merger. Horn's retirement, announced in October 2021, capped a 9-year tenure at Disney and a decade-spanning, nearly 50-year career in the entertainment industry. Those years included a long-lasting stint as president and COO at Warner Brothers, where Horn oversaw such franchises as Harry Potter, which I should have mentioned this. He's the one that brought in Harry Potter and that says right here, Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy and Peter Jackson's 3 installments of The Hobbit. So, I mean, they have a lot of IPs that they could really like they have the rights to movies for the Lord of the Rings, and they should totally outdo that stupid Amazon show. Anyways, in this new consultant role, Horn is expected to help steer Warner Brothers Discovery through its merger transition, particularly as it relates to Warner Brothers Pictures, with freshly instated studio heads Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi, who replaced Tom Emmerich earlier this year. So this is, like I said before, he has no like authority to like be like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. But I'm pretty sure that if he wanted something done, he could call up Daddy Zaslav and just be like, yo, they need to stop doing this. Like, we need to start making a Silmarillion movie. It needs to be like a 3-parter. Because that show on Amazon sucks. Or, if the Harry Potter movies is like, hey, JK's not cutting it. We need to talk to her and we need to get this ball rolling on something else because the Fantastic Beasts movies aren't working out well. Or he could just be like, yeah, I want to still roll with these Fantastic Beasts movies. You just got to change some stuff up. Like maybe, and he just can't make it happen, but he can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, I love Alan Horn. He's so smart and I really like him a lot. And I think Warner Brothers might finally get somebody that knows what they're doing in there. They really need to fix DC. That's a big friggin' mess. And so I can't wait to see what he does and see if it's for the better for Warner Brothers Discovery. And let's see what happens here. All right, you guys, that is all I got for you guys. Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about Destin Daniel Cretton directing the new the Kang Dynasty movie for Marvel? Plus he's got all these other projects over at Marvel going on, and it'll be interesting to see what he does there. And like I said before, I wish him nothing but the best. Shang-Chi was okay for me, but I have my complaints and everything. But directing wise, he did a good job. Tell me, how do you feel about Pedro Pascal and David Harbour starring in this HBO series, My Dentist Murder Trial? Do you know anything about this case, and how do you feel about the outcome? How do you feel about the casting in this? Because the man was Jewish, and I don't think David Harbour or Pedro Pascal are Jewish and everything. I don't know if that's a must, but we'll see and everything. And do you think they're going to have creative liberties where they change up a couple of things? Who knows? We'll see. And then finally, how do you feel about Alan Horn joining the ranks of Warner Brothers Discovery and being hired as a senior advisor? Do you think this is a good idea, a bad idea? How do you feel about Alan Horn? Do you like Alan Horn? Do you not like Alan Horn? Do you think he's made some good decisions in the past, or do you think he's made some really bad decisions? Tell me, guys, what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my week in review.